Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to part 5 of Crusader Kings 2. We're trying to form the Empire of Britannia. First off, I'd like to apologise. Last weekend, on the last 4 videos, there was a little bit of issue with the audio desyncing. And that's because Crusader Kings 2 really doesn't like my recording software. So I'm trying a bit of a different method on these next 4 videos. I'm going to keep experimenting until I find the winning formula that works with CK2. Hopefully there won't be as many audio issues. But last weekend it was a case of either having audio sync issues or just losing 45 minutes worth of video in the middle of the LP, which of course I didn't want to do because everything had been going relatively well for me up to that point. So anyway, it's been last weekend since I played and I've kind of forgotten what I was doing. I remember of course that we were actually trying to do our best to just increase the realm size, which we're going to carry on doing here. Just looking at my council, because I notice I've got a few people missing here. Let's make sure we get the steward collecting taxes here in Leicester. Now, we will also want to increase our own domain size at some point. We're going to want to get a few more counties of our own. Of course, one of the important things at this point also is forming the Kingdom of England. Now we've got to be very, very careful because if we actually look at these guys like the Count of Worcester and the Count of Oxford, these guys actually are quite powerful. 40 and 37% in comparison to me is very, very high. And that's mainly because I just don't have that good of a personal levy, which is one more reason why we definitely want to take some more holdings for ourselves. So we want to make sure that we keep everybody happy. We also want to try and find a few other people that we could potentially pick on that we can get a CB against. I'm not sure if we have CBs against anybody. We can make these guys tributaries, but there isn't really an awful lot of point in doing that apart from gaining some money and some prestige. What we actually want to do is try and grab ourselves some more land. So vassal levies raised too long. We'd like that to go away and reduce some of that negative penalty opinion. We can usurp the title, the Petty Kingdom of Essex, which we don't really necessarily want to do because that would end up giving us 2 duchy titles because we already have the Petty Kingdom of Mercia, which is a duchy, and we would then also have the Duchy of Essex. Now the problem with the Duchy of Essex, if I can find out where this is on the map, yep, it should be here. And where does it tell me? Used to be a way to find out, but I can't remember. I've got a feeling that the succession law is still going to be just gavel kind. So when we potentially die, we could still have the same problem. So we do have to be quite careful with what we do. So, and a title will be created, which would be the Duchy of Weiss, which again we don't want to create because we will have the same problem. So we're going to carry on. We'll speed the game up a little bit here. I'm just keeping my eye on the frame rate counter because already, even at speed 3, the game is tanking below 30 frames a second, which is really... This is a really poorly optimized game, it has to be said. Gain 10 prestige from my hunting dog. Good, good. Hunting is just so strong. It's definitely one of the best focuses that you can have in this game. It does seem to make so much difference. It gives you so many opportunities to gain extra health. An Earl's opinion of us is changed by plus 30 for 4 years. That's quite good. Now, which Earl was that? Because there was one there that we didn't quite have 100 opinion of. A few people moving around here. What about you? These are obviously we're down to our sort of bishops now. Let's go ahead and have a look. It's easier to see it if we actually look down here under vassals. So, you like me more than the Pope. Looks like most of our bishops like me more than the Pope. There's only one that actually doesn't, which is the Bishop of Lincoln, who possibly is our court chaplain. Yeah, so there isn't an awful lot that I can do with him. You're still improving in Rome. I very much doubt that you can improve relations with yourself. Yeah, so you're just going to have to stay where you were. He's actually moved out of there now. So I guess we will just keep you down in Rome. Just keep sucking up down there. Not a problem. Well, let's unpause and let's keep things going on. Try and decide where we want to attack next. We do have to be careful on some of the places that we might attack. Most of the areas down here in Wales and Cornwall and Devon are feudal, but once we start getting up towards Pictland and Ireland, we start getting tribal holdings, which obviously is the wrong type of holdings for our government type. There are ways around that, so it's not the end of the world if that doesn't work out. We can grab some tribal holdings. So, is that one of our daughters? It is indeed one of our daughters. So we can arrange for you to be married, I suppose. Try and get some reputation. How old are you? You're only 6. You are the Duke of Bavaria. Well, we could certainly do with trying to get some of our dynasty over onto the thrones in Europe. That could certainly be useful. So if we were to go ahead and marry you to him, we'd get some prestige from that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. This is one of those games where marrying off daughters is pretty much only done for opinion. That is fine. Now, I think I've got a truce against some of these guys, so I've got to be careful. Declare war. Yeah, we can make you a tributary. My wife is pregnant. Well, as we've managed to improve relations with somebody, why don't you go and fabricate claims? I mean, we should have a de jure claim here on... In fact, let's just double check that. Do we have a de jure claim on Wiltshire? We probably do. You need to declare war on you directly. No, we don't even have a de jure claim on Wiltshire. It would be nice to make him a little bit smaller. Certainly make him a little bit weaker. Let's go ahead. I mean, yeah, we could create the Duchy of Hwicce, then we'd have a de jure claim on Wiltshire. Maybe we should pick on these little guys down here that can't really defend themselves. Work our way out to the coast, give ourselves a little bit more coastline. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and try and fabricate claims on Surrey. I'm fairly certain that we don't have any there already. Yeah, we can make them a tributary, but it doesn't give us any land. So there's not an awful lot of point in doing that. My son has a tender and loving soul, trusting everyone in the castle, I fear he will get hurt someday. So he can gain a 1 diplomacy, get the trait kind, which reduces his intrigue, but increases his diplomacy, vassal opinion, which is all good stuff. Now, we don't want to lose opinion for the sake of gaining a bit of prestige. I'm not bothered about piety. And of course, that would give him a 10% chance of becoming envious, which we don't really want him to have. This one gives him a 40% chance. Well, we'll just take this one. We want him to become kind and get the diplomacy. Did that actually work for him? Yeah, he's kind. He's also wrath, which is kind of odd. They're not the same. So as you can see, he's got sins 5 and 7, and he's got virtues 2 and 6. So we might be able to cancel some of those out later on. Just glancing up just to make sure that we are not poor. So let me try and go up to speed 4. Yeah, I really can't believe just how much the frame rate of this game tanks when you're running at high speed. It's not really an issue with graphics, it's just an issue with the game is having to process so much in the background. The Earl of Worcester has inherited the County of Worcester and other titles from Earl Bearnoth the Impaler. So we've got to be careful with this guy because he's going to end up becoming... Ah, that's not the same guy. It looks like you are the son. And your heir is the Marshal of Worcester, heir to the County of Worcester. It looked like that was actually leaving the realm then, but it shouldn't be. Okay, so we do have an open position for Marshal. You do have the higher Marshal score, so let's go ahead and make you Marshal. And you can continue training troops in Leicester. Make sure we keep our levies nice and high. We do want to make sure that we keep that guy pretty happy. He's still got 100% with us, of course, because we've just made him Marshal. But look at him now. He's up to 49%. So that can be quite worrying. He's getting pretty big. In what does he actually... he owns? He must just own... Looks like he only owns 2 provinces. So it's very, very strange that he's got... it's because he's got 2 baronies. There's actually 2 castles in his county capital, so he'll be getting a lot of extra manpower from that second castle. Well, I say a lot of extra manpower. It's only giving him An additional, what, maybe, yeah, 220. So, still, at this early stage in the game, 220 extra men is quite significant. So, we need to keep our eye on that. What are your chances of actually fabricating that claim? Only 15.7% yearly. Could we get a better Chancellor? Diplomacy skill of 16. Wow, we don't have anybody good here, do we? Well, we could try and invite a noble to court. Oh, he's actually done it. Wow, okay, I mean, colour me impressed. I won't bother replacing you then. So, before we do anything else, let's consider moving you somewhere where you can be useful. Try and improve some relations. Everyone is pretty much at 100% here, with maybe the exception of... Yeah, I think all of our dukes... Our dukes are the only ones that we really need to worry about. The bishops aren't all that important. So I guess we can just use him to carry on fabricating claims. I guess we can go now straight for Sussex, so let's go ahead and do that. We will tell you to fabricate a claim on Sussex. Now, do you have any allies? You do not, which is very good. So let us go ahead and see. What's your army size? You have a total of 515.4 men. So he's obviously got Tyrion Lannister on his side. So we want to declare war on him. We want to claim on Surrey. And then we want to raise up our military. Now, if we raise up our vassal levies, we are going... Well, we'll do what we can here. We'll try and get everybody together in Bedford if possible. We want to go up and sort of around the outside. Now, he's going to raise his army up now. He may instantly try and go for one of the smaller stats. He's probably... Oh, he's going for that stat, which is disappointing. Okay, well, we need to unpause. Nope, somebody else just became of legal age. Now, you're just going to stand there and siege out my stuff. That is fine. I have an unlanded son. Well, we are about to take Surrey, so maybe we can deal with that. Now, let's not make the same mistake I made last time. Let's get him married off before we actually... let's get him married off before we land him, because otherwise that makes things difficult. Decantabria, which is the dynasty that sort of rules the northern edge of Asturias here. So, that might not be a bad idea. She's pretty mediocre. There are some people here who have really high stewardship and things. Iceling's just a courtier, so that's not necessarily all that useful. Bring me that list up again in whatever order you had it before. Oh, well, I've lost them now. Okay, now I've got to try and look for the flag. It was you, wasn't it? You are a princess. Oh well, let's go for it. Let's see what we can pull off here. We've got to watch him here because he is now starting to attack some of these levies. Yeah, we don't really... Well, we do technically have enough men, but we don't have full morale. Now, he's going to arrive on the 26th. We're going to get out on the 23rd. That's fine. You can actually move directly into there now. So we will have more men, which is a good thing. Now, the reason I'm not raising my own personal levy, I'm just raising my vassal levies here, is because if I raise my own personal levy and I start to lose my own men, then it'll mean that my dukes will be even, well, my sort of counts will be even stronger and therefore more likely to attack me. So let's whittle away their manpower instead of mine. Also, it's cheaper to have their levies raised than my own. Let's go in and get ourselves some more commanders, if we may. Can we not have any more commanders? No, apparently we cannot. So let's make sure that we do have commanders in this army. We don't have an awful lot of choice for the commanders we can have. In fact, our commanders are basically terrible. So let's have a look who we've got. 6. You are the lowest martial score person we have here. These should be in order of martial. The Earl of Oxford, you don't have a great deal of martial. That's about the best we can do. We've got a bishop. We've got a mayor, which is you. Now, which bishop is that? You're the Bishop of Lincoln. You actually have a martial score of 8. Let's just go and stop you from doing that. Not forbidden to lead armies. There we go. So now we should be able to get in the bishop. And there's somebody that we're missing. I do really dislike this system of the commanders. It's nice that you can pre-appoint them. We want our mayor. You're currently fabricating claims. Oh, Mayor Goodwine of Cambridge. So who is the Mayor of Nottingham? You are our steward. I guess you can come along. Stop collecting taxes. Want to make sure that we have a leader on every single flank here. And we want to make sure that we charge up to full morale. So at the end of this month, we should be fine. Now, we could get absolutely slaughtered here. There's a possibility of it. So this is probably his personal levy, though. We do have nearly double the numbers. So let's go ahead and march in on him. Actually, will we cross a river there? There used to be a way to tell whether or not you'd be crossing a river. Because there are rivers here. Can't tell anymore. Well, let's try it anyway and see what happens. We didn't seem to get a river crossing penalty. One of his flanks has been destroyed already. So we're already getting a flanking bonus on him, which is definitely good. Our centre there is getting destroyed. There we go. We actually managed to turn that around once we got to the melee phase. So let's just go and chase him down, because we want to try and finish him off if we can. Get rid of all of his army. And then we'll just go and... oh, well, we're in his province. So we'll go and siege out Surrey. And then hopefully he won't be able to raise up any more troops. There's nothing he can do about it now. So we've pretty much got this one won. We just need to siege him down. We've already got 72% war score. So that is absolutely fine. Looks like he's in another war there as well. Defender against King Egbert of Kent in the Kentish Surreyan de jure war over Surrey. So this guy's actually just declared war on him. But that's a little bit pointless there. It's strange that he's hostile to me as well. But obviously we're going to invalidate his war here. So we're still getting troops. So this is a good thing here, because this is... If we're losing manpower, we're losing the manpower that belongs to our vassals. We're not losing our own manpower, so that works out quite nicely for me. I don't think he will attack, because he does have a smaller number. The AI is not normally that stupid, but has been known to be in the past. So, yeah, we were aware of that. Titles can be a search, we're aware of that. I don't think it was meant to hurt me, but the criticism still stung harder than it should have. So we can either gain wrath, or we can become patient. Patient's actually very good. I mean, wrath does give you a lot of extra martial, but patient gives you a lot of everything else, and patient can actually give you a bonus on the battlefield, because being patient can actually make you a better military leader. And you can certainly get events for that from being a hunter as well, so we'll definitely go with patient. Our martial score isn't terrible. I mean, well, it's not great, but it's 17. It's a lot better than it could have been. One child lacks a guardian. Now, you're my son. How many people am I teaching at the moment? I have no wards. So let us make sure that we educate you ourselves. And then hopefully we can sort of pick some of the good events for you. Now, what about our other sons? Yeah, everyone else is currently of age. What about our daughter? Who are you being educated by? You're being educated by this mayor. We'll leave him educated now. We're not too bothered about what the traits of the females are. It's just the men, really, that we want to make sure have good traits. And as I've said before, it's always good to train them up yourself to a certain point, because that way you get to pick the outcome of all the events. The Lords of Oxford have approved the institution of minimal city tax laws. And then when the children reach sort of between 15 and 16 years of age, then pawn them off to someone with a good education in the hope that they will get that education. So there we go. We can actually go ahead and finish this war here. So we'll offer peace. We get the claim on Surrey. So the claim has ended and we won. The problem we have now is we're still hostile to this guy, which is weird as far as I was concerned. Now that... I suppose it's because he's not actually fighting the owner directly. He just wants Surrey. So now he's hostile to me. Well, we'll try and take him on. We are in a war with him. It's not just the fact that he is hostile. We are actually in a war. Before we do this, let's just quickly back out of here. Let's try and auto-balance this unit because it's a little bit weak. We do want to be stronger in the centre, though, I think. Can we raise up any more vassal levies? Can get a few more. Not a huge number, I suppose. Well, 53 more men is 53 more men. Oh, we did get some here in Surrey as well. He's going to try and jump on me in Essex. Let's make him think that's... Yeah, there we go. Now he's changed his mind. He's going to actually come down here now and try and get into Surrey, which is the war goal. You guys are probably going to get crushed now. Yeah, he keeps changing his mind. Just trying to make sure I get all of my men together. That's the purpose of doing this. Now, remember, he is standing on top of one of my holdings there. So we do have to be a little bit careful about letting him stand around and siege. Our morale is not quite maxed out. It soon will be, though. It's at 98% now. So we'll just keep our eye on that. Get it up to 100, then we'll go and march on him. But we will do that in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you were still enjoying Crusader Kings 2, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.